So, if we're going to learn how to own ourselves, and we understand that that requires that we develop awareness and intimacy with our emotional terrain, and specifically with the things that trip our wires and trigger us, then obviously one of the most profound testing grounds for this process is going to be our personal relationships. And romantic relationships are obviously going to be top of the heap, family dynamics. So if there's one thing that I've learned, it is that committing to a principle of radical responsibility can ease the way tremendously. So what that means to me in the realm of relationships is a deep understanding that we own our emotions, right? So similar to how we are cleansing ourselves of victim mentality when it comes to this concept of illness and, germ warfare, and that all of these bad things are happening to us because of our bad genes, our bad timing, our bad exposures, our bad luck, right? If we're going to begin to work that out of our system, then we can bring that also to our relationships, where we can begin to orient towards experiences of an intense emotional territory as simply showing us something that is already in there, right? So if I feel very triggered by my partner's behavior, of course I'm going to want him to apologize or to take responsibility or to never do it again, pinky swear promise. And this perspective offers us a way to navigate the minefield of triggers in relationships with more self-authority, right? So if instead I allow him to be who he is, right, to make his own decisions, make his own choices, and when I feel emotions arise, pain, disappointment, even fear, and I turn towards them and say, wow, that was in there, that sadness that came up out of, that comment that he made, that's mine. In fact, it's probably been in there for decades. It's probably super old. And how about I get to know it, right? So if I feel a sense of deep sadness, that I am not being loved in the way that I want to be loved, then it's likely that that sadness has come from an experience of not being loved the way I wanted or needed to be loved very early on in my life. And the fact is that I am the person to provide that love to myself. And until and if I can do that, I am not going to be able to receive it, even if it comes to me from someone else. So there's a way to actually feel, sort of gratitude and reverence towards relationships that offer us this opportunity to look at our triggers, to look at those emotions, and to begin to understand that that's in us. That rage, that pain, that sadness, it's already ours. And it's surfacing thanks to the dynamic in order to be metabolized and acknowledged and honored, in a way. So through this kind of commitment to learning ever more about ourselves, we can navigate relationships, with a dedication to growth and personal development that ultimately allows us to show up for the other person in a way that honors them, respects them in their autonomy and sovereignty, and generates the conditions for a love that comes from a full cup, a love that comes from overflow rather than a love that comes from need and expectations.